In this class, we are going to discuss about the next concept that is hardwired control unit. Okay, so we know that in our system, the important block is CPU, right? So, what is the major component in our system? That is CPU, right? So, because the CPU can do all different functions. Okay, so CPU can do all different functions like data processing as well as control functions also. Okay, so in that we have a different blocks like register set. That means CPU contain different blocks, that is nothing but like a register set or ALU or control unit, right? So again in the CPU the important block is that is CU, control unit. Okay, so in our system the main important block is CPU. In CPU, what are the components it consists? That is nothing but like a number of registers will be there and ALU will be there and in that control unit will be there, right? So this is the main block in CPU. Okay, so which is the major component in CPU block is nothing but that is the control unit, because that is the unit which generates the required control signals which are necessary for proper operation of our system. Okay, so why it is important block in CPU means it just generates the required control signals. Okay, so which generates the required control signals which are necessary for proper operation of our system. That's why this control unit is the major component in CPU block. Okay, so those control signals are generated by our control unit. Okay, so these control signals are generated by our control unit. Okay, so basically these are the two types of designs for a control unit. Okay, so what are the control signals we are having? So that is nothing but we have two types of the designs for a control unit. So one type of the design is hardwired control unit and another one is micro programmed control unit. Okay, so remember that thing. So whatever that control unit is important block in CPU, this control unit, okay, basically this control unit will generate the control signals. Depends on that control signal, this control unit will be classified into two types. So one is hardwired and the second one is micro programmed. Remember that thing. So we have two types of control units. That control units are depends on control signals. We can classify these two. So one is hardwired control unit and the second one is micro programmed control unit. Okay, so now let's see the first concept in that, that is nothing but hardwired control unit. Okay, so this is the typical hardwired control unit diagram. Okay, so just observe the block diagram. So before going to see this block diagram, so first of all hardware system can operate at a higher speed. Remember this point. So it can be operated at the high speed with little flexibility. That means with less flexibility. Okay, so this hardware system can operate at a higher speed but with a little flexibility. So the meaning of this particular one is hardwired control units generates the control signals at a faster rates, okay, and also consist of less flexibility. Okay, so why it is consist of a high speed and why it is consist of a less flexibility means at the end of this concept you may identify that why hardware system can operate higher speed as well as with a little flexibility. Okay, you can easily identify that why it is activated in, so why it is operated in high speed and having less flexibility. Okay, so remember this point, this is the major point in that. So it can be operated at the faster rate and also with less flexibility. So now coming to see the block diagram of this hardwired control unit. So in that totally we have the 5 major components. That 5 major components are you can identify it easily with the help of blocks. So this is IR, that is nothing but instruction register, and this is the control step counter, and this is fixed logic circuit, and this is external inputs and conditional codes. Okay, and one more we have the clock. Okay, so here why we are using here these control units actually means for execution of instructions the processor must have some means of generating the control signals. Okay, so for executing the instruction the processor must have the control signals. Okay, so that means how to generate that control signals now we'll see here. Okay, so depends on this hardwired control unit and depends on this microprogrammed control unit. So this control unit will be generates the control signals. So how it will generate that control signals means it will be depends on some control steps. Okay, so that means the control unit will generate the control signals. So how it will be generate that control signals means it will be depends on some control steps. What are the control steps means in that the first one is content of the control step counter. Okay, so first one is contents of the control step counter and the second one is content of the instruction register. And coming to what is the third one means contents of the condition codes. Okay, and the last one is contents of the or external inputs. So this external inputs we can used here, that is nothing but one MFC signal and another one is interrupt signals. Okay, so external inputs we can use here these two signals, that is interrupt signal and MFC. So interrupt already we discussed in the first unit. You can go and search that concept. Okay, you can easily identify with the help of first unit. Okay, so MFC is nothing but memory function complete. Okay, so these two signals we can call it here external inputs. Okay, so what these are for means here, in order to generate control signals by control unit, okay, it has to consider the different informations before generation of a control signals. Okay, that means the generation of the control signals is it depends on the few things. That few things are these are. Okay, so complete generation of the control signals, it will be depends upon the control step counter, condition flags, external inputs and IR registers. So the major thing is nothing but with the help of hardwired control unit we need to generate the control signals here. So how can we generate that control signals means depends on some control steps we can find out the control signals. Okay, so what are that steps means these are. Okay, so now we'll see here in that one more block we are using, except this four we have one more block here, that is fixed logic circuit. So this fixed logic circuit block includes the combinational circuit. Okay, so we are having combinational circuits like multiplexer, decoders, encoders, like that, no? So we can use anyone in that. Okay, so fixed logic circuit, it blocks includes the combinational circuit that generates the required control outputs for decoding and encoding functions. That's why I can use here this replaced fixed logic circuit by decoder / encoder circuit. Okay, so in place of fixed logic circuit we can take particular block, that is particular combinational circuit we are choosing, that is decoder / encoder circuit. Okay, so now we'll see that block diagram explanation. So see here the block diagram consists of 5 blocks, no? So this is the clock. So clock is nothing but always it generates the timing signals. Okay, so now coming to the control step counter. So this control unit generates the control signals. That means control signal generation is depends upon these 4 factors, no? So what does things is nothing but here, what does the 4 things is nothing but here. First coming to the control step counter. So what's the content of it? That is nothing but, so just observe here. So let you connection for this. Okay, so let you connection in between control step counter to the decoder / encoder. So what happens here, our control step counter is connected to the input of the decoder encoder circuit. Okay, this output is connected to the input of this decoder encoder circuit. Okay, so that means this is given as one of the input to this. And coming to the second one, so second one is nothing but here instruction register. So instruction register of the that is nothing but this is instruction register is also connected to the one of the input of the decoder slash encoder circuit, right? So that means what is the functionality of the instruction register? Already we knows this instruction register always it will hold the instruction which was executed by CPU. Okay, so which instruction was executed by the CPU, that will be hold in instruction register, and also it will be depends on a conditional code flag. Okay, so this hardware control is also depends upon the conditional code. Okay, so what are the values that are available on this means that is also given to the input of this decoder slash encoder circuit. Okay, so and the last thing is nothing but here external inputs. So these external inputs we can choose it as MFC and interrupt signals. Okay, so this is also given to the input of this decoder slash encoder circuit. That means by considering all these inputs to the control unit, it will be generates the control signals at its output stage. Okay, so this is the meaning of this connection. Okay, so all that IR, control step counter, external inputs, conditional codes all will be given to the input of this decoder and encoder circuit. So by means of this by considering all these inputs, the control unit, that means here whatever the fixed logic circuit will have, that is decoder slash encoder circuit, it will be generates the control signals at its output stage. Okay, so here coming to the decoder and encoder circuit block, it is a combinational logic circuit that generates the required control output depending on the state of all its inputs. Okay, it will be generates the control signals that will be depends upon the all the input states. That means here we have a decoder and encoder circuit, no? So which will generates the combinational circuit based on all these information. That means it is a combinational circuit based on this all the inputs information, it may generates the control signals. Okay, so this is the circuit explanation. So now we'll see what happened, how can it generates the control signals. Now we'll see here. Okay, so how can we connect like this? Why we are connecting as all as inputs to the decoder and encoder circuit means, so by considering all these as inputs to the decoder and encoder circuit, then automatically it will be creating the or it will be generating the control signals. That is the connection meaning. Okay, so now we'll see that working principle of this hardware control unit. So just observe here. So here first thing is nothing but this is the clock. So what is a major function of the clock? So clock is nothing but always it gives the timing signals, right? So clock signal is nothing but always it gives the timing signals, that is T1, T2, T3 intervals. Okay, so here this clock is for a control step counter of the input signal. Just observe here, this clock is given to the input and this is the output stage, no? So this output of this control step counter is nothing but we are getting the timing signals from this clock. So that is nothing but we are getting the what are that getting output from the clock, that is nothing but timing signals, no? You can represent it here timing signals. So T1, T2 up to so on Tn. Okay, so while applying input as clock to the control step counter, so then what we are getting the output from this, what we are expecting output means, so with the help of clock signal, we are the counter is nothing but here counting the clock pulses. What is meant by counter means just it will be counting the clock pulses. Okay, so pulse is nothing but here we can identify like this. So that is maybe complete cycle. Okay, so one pulse is nothing but we can represent like this. This is half cycle and the remaining cycle is half. Okay, so positive and this is negative. Okay, so complete cycle we can clock it, we can consider as one clock pulse. Okay, so here counter step counter, it will be generating the clock pulses. With respect to clock pulses, we are writing the timing signals here. Okay, so then we are getting the result is equal to the T1, T2 up to so on Tn. So these are the different counter steps which are present in this control step counter. Okay, so these are the different counter steps, because T1 may be having the negative to positive pulse, or maybe coming to the T2 positive to negative. So T1 is nothing but complete cycle, no? So complete is nothing but positive come negative. So negative come positive is represented by the T1 period, and next the T2 period will comes to the negative to positive. So that is nothing but it may consist of the different counter steps which are present in this control step counter, because here the generation of the control signals are done with reference to the clock. That means what time instant the control signal like C1 generates, or what time instant the control signal C2 generates, or what time the control signal maybe generates the C3 or C4, like that. Okay, so that's why here these are the different counter steps which are present in this control step counter. Okay, so then automatically with respect to with reference clock pulses, we are finding the clock signals. Okay, so this is the control step counter. Now coming to the next thing, the control signal generation is a purely depends on the one of the parameter is here, that is timing signals. Okay, remember that point. So how can we generate this control signals means, what is the major parameter we are used in that means for controlling the or generating the control signals means, the timing signals or clock is the major parameter for the generating of control signals. Okay, so these are timing signals we are getting from a clock signal through the control step counter. Okay, this is one of our input for this decoder slash encoder circuit. Is it right, ma? So clock will generate the timing signals. So that timing signals is given to the control step counter. So with the help of counter, we are counting the clock pulses. So depends on that clock pulses, we are getting the timing signals here. Okay, so that timing signals our output for the control step counter. So after that what it will do, so the control step counter getting the output, no, that is T1, T2 up to so on Tn. So these are all timing signals, no. These timing signals are given to the next level. That next level is nothing but decoder encoder circuit. So you can give these timing signals are input to the decoder to encoder circuit. Okay, so that up to here, that is finished. So now coming to the second component, that is nothing but instruction register. So this instruction register is nothing but based on instruction itself, only control unit generator required control signals. Okay, instruction register itself, that means definitely based on instruction itself, only the control unit it will generates the control signals. Okay, in order to execution of the instruction in a proper way, the compulsory instruction register will getting the control signals. Okay, so in order to execution of the instruction in proper way, so control unit will generates the control signals. So at that time our decoder and encoder circuit collect that information from the instruction register. So what it collect that information means, here it will collect the instructions. Instruction register always it holds the instructions, no. So that instructions will be given to the decoder to the encoder circuit. So like instruction 1, instruction 2 up to so on instruction n. Okay, so just instruction register will gives the instruction to the decoder to the encoder circuit. At the same time, the control signals generates the that means control signal generation is also depends on the two more factors. So that two more factor is nothing but external inputs and conditional codes. Okay, so the first thing is nothing but instruction register will gives the instructions to the decoder and encoder circuit. That is the input to the encoder and decoder and encoder circuit. At the same time, two more inputs we are having for this decoder encoder circuit, that is external inputs and conditional codes. Okay, so that is nothing but here external input, that means sometimes we can receive MFC signals as well as interrupt request signals from the external inputs. Okay, so we must consider those signals also for generating of the control signals. Okay, and sometimes and also depends on the conditional codes, that is the status flags. Okay, by receiving of that information generates the control signals. Okay, so by receiving the instructions and MFC signals, interrupt request signals from the external inputs, and also conditional codes will gives to the encoder and decoder circuit. So while receiving that all inputs to the decoder and encoder circuit, the control unit will generate the control signals. Okay, so whenever all the information, that means whenever considering the all these inputs to the control unit, automatically the decoder encoder circuit will generates the control signals. Okay, so finally what is the conclusion we are getting from this means, first of all we are giving the clock signal. So clock signal just generates the timing signals that is given to the control step counter. So here the counter we are using, so this counter will counting the number of clock pulses. With respect to number of clock pulses we are getting the timing signals here, so that output is given to the decoder slash encoder circuit block. Okay, so that first thing is completed. Now coming to the second control step, that is instruction register. It will provides the instruction to the decoder and encoder circuit. Okay, so in that case the decoder and encoder circuit also receives the two more inputs, that is nothing but one external inputs and conditional codes. Okay, so while receiving instructions from the instruction register, at the same time it will be receiving the two more inputs that will comes from the external inputs and conditional codes. Okay, so from the external inputs we are getting the MFC signals and interrupt signals. Okay, so after considering all these inputs, decoder and encoder circuit will generate the control signals at their output by considering four different informations. Okay, so that four informations is nothing but a clock, and another one which is coming from the through the control step counter, and second one is instruction register information, and third one is external inputs, and the fourth one is conditional codes. So by considering of all these things, decoder encoder circuit will generate the control signals. Okay, so this is the explanation about the hardwired control unit. So now coming to the next, that is nothing but detailed block diagram of hardwired control unit. So we have another diagram in that hardwired control unit. So this is the detailed description of the hardwired control unit. So here only the thing is extend. Previously here we have an instruction register in straight away to the decoder and encoder circuit, but here in between instruction register and encoder circuit we have one more block, that is nothing but instruction decoder. ID is nothing but here instruction decoder. That means we can separate it here decoder and encoder circuit in this hardwired control unit. Okay, so that is nothing but here in previously we don't have this block actually. So but here instruction register is connected to the instruction decoder, and it is our encoder, and as usual we receive the signals from conditional codes, and we receive the signals from the external inputs, that means MFC and interrupt request signals, and as well as we can receive the timing signals through the control step counter through the step decoder. Okay, so here these are the two decoder circuits we use in this case. Okay, so in previous case this is not exist. Just observe here. So control step counter and decoder encoder block. So in this middle of this we don't have any block here, but in middle of control step counter and encoder we have the step decoder, and in middle of IR and encoder we have the instruction decoder. Okay, so that is the extra thing we have in that. Okay, so this is also not exist in the previous case, but in detailed block diagram of hardwired control we have the two more extra blocks, that those are instruction decoder and step decoder. Okay, so indirectly instruction register information is given to the decoder to encoder block, right? In previous case, directly instruction register given the information to the decoder slash encoder, right? But here we can give the instruction register we can give the information to the instruction decoder here. Okay, so, and also indirectly in previous case the control step counter information is also given to the directly that means this information is directly applied to the decoder and encoder circuit, but in this case the control step counter output is given through the step decoder to the encoder block. Okay, so in order to go more in detailed way, so instead of direct applying IR value, we can go and use the instruction decoder. Okay, so because whatever the instruction was executed in CPU, first of all that instruction is fetched fetched from the memory. After fetching that instruction, that was stored in the instruction register. Already I explained yesterday, so that is nothing but you can verify that thing fetching a word from memory is nothing but first fetch the instruction from the memory. After that fetching that instruction, that was be stored in instruction register. That instruction register we can move into the MDR register, right? So here first address will be verified in this MER register, then we'll go further after verifying the data with the help of read instruction. So then we can move the data into the MDR register. So in place of MDR we can use here IR register for storing that instruction, right? So here also, so that is nothing but after fetching that instruction that was stored in the instruction register. So actually that instruction was in coded form. So because it is in coded form now, so with the help of this instruction decoder, it will be decoded. Okay, that instruction here we have a instruction 1, instruction 2, instruction up to so on n. Okay, so first instruction register having the instructions that is in decoded form, that is in coded form. So for that purpose we can verify that code with the help of the instruction decoders. So after that verifying that coding, so then we can give that instructions to the encoder in the form of IN1, IN2 up to so on INN. Okay, that means we have a different sub operations we performed in that instruction execution. Okay, so those instructions given as input to the encoder block. Okay, so what is the next thing? The remaining process will be same. Okay, now so that is nothing but clock. With the help of clock we are getting the timing signals. So that timing signals we are given to the step decoder. So with the help of step decoder, directly this information is given to the encoder block. So T1, T2 up to so on Tn. So here instructions we are getting now with the help of instruction register and instruction decoder. So encoder will get the instruction. At the same time, two more inputs will be given to the encoder block, that is external inputs and conditional codes. So by considering all these informations of the inputs, so the encoder block will generate the control signals. Okay, so this is the explanation about the hardware control unit of the block diagram. So now coming to the next thing, here we'll have an example. So let us see how the encoder circuit signal for single bus processor organization. Now we'll see how the encoder generates the control signals. That is the meaning here. Okay, so what is the function they given means y input is equals to T1 plus T5 into add plus T4 into branch plus up to so on. This is our function. So based on this function, so we have the logic diagram here. So you know, right, how to draw the logic diagram. So with the help of AND gates, with the help of OR function, that means with the help of addition and with the help of multiplication, we can draw the logic diagram here. Okay, so based on this diagram, so now we'll finding the how the encoder circuit will generates the control signals. So just now we explained, we discussed, that is nothing but encoder circuit will generates the control signal with the help of this input information. So like this way, here also we have the input information. So how can it generates the control signals? Now we'll see. Okay, so here y input is equals to T1. So T1, it doesn't consist any any inputs, so directly T1 is, you can take it as single part, and next plus T5 into add. So that's why T5 signal is present here, and add signal in between will have multiplication, then we can choose it as AND gate. And coming to the next block is nothing but here T4 into branch, so then you can take multiplication. So T1, T4, T5 is nothing but those are all timing signals. Okay, so in between all operations we have the OR gate, no, so that's why we can present here like this. Already you know how to draw the logic diagram. So now we'll see how encoder will generates the control signals. Now we'll see here this Y input signal, it is depends upon the first input signal, will depends on what first step, it will be depends on the control signals, no, so sorry, timing signals, no. So like that here also it will be depends on timing signals, that is T1, and also it is depends on the T5 time along with the add signal, and it is depends on the T4 time along with the branch signal. Okay, that is this Y in signal was in active stage. Okay, so the meaning of this Y input signal was active means in time instant T1 as well as time instant T5 along with add, and time instant T4 along with branch. So automatically in different cases Y input was always active stage. Okay, so here different time intervals, so depends on the time instance, it will be the input will be in active stage. Okay na, so that's why here we can represent in different time signals, we can represent this so on. Okay, so that means Y input signal was active in different time instance, that's why here it is so on. Okay, so why it is indicated as so on means, so Yin is always indicated as the active signal at different time intervals, that may be T1, T2 up to so on Tn intervals. So you can represent like a so on up to n values. Okay, so Y input, one of the control signal that was generated by the encoder output by considering the different inputs, right? So in that case it will consider the first instructions. Okay, it will consider the first instruction output, sorry, instructions that inputs, as well as it will consider the timing signals. Is it right, ma? So encoder will considering the inputs as one is instructions and another input is timing signals. Okay, so timing signal inputs as well as it will consider the flag values, that means conditional code values, as well as external inputs, right? So by considering all four inputs it will be providing the control signals, right? So what this diagram indicates is this Y input is nothing but a control signal, so which is generated by encoder circuit, and what time it will generate, that is indicated here means T1. At what time it will be generate the control signal means T1 time it will be generate the control signal, and it is activated in T1 it is activated in T1 time at instant of